What is the FlightScope golf planning tool? What is it used for? How does it calculate the carry distances deltas, and we'll come to the detail what that means. And why is it important to use? And then how accurate is this planning tool? Can I take these results on a printout to a competition? Okay, so let's start with some of the questions. You can decide if let's ask this question, who here has played a golf competition, any form of competition, against your friends, tournaments, a lot of people. Who here would like to beat their opponents?
I personally like to just give
Okay, now, who likes gambling? Right. Who would prefer not to gamble but to take a calculated risk? Now, you're on my side of the fence now. I hate gambling. I like to take a calculated risk based on information. Okay? Now, for the first time, as a competitive golfer, somebody that wants to not give money to their friends, but take the money from their friends or competitors. Thankfully, I didn't bet against you yesterday. Cheated. Basically, you can now plan ahead. You can plan ahead 3 days. So here's what you're going to learn. And now listen closely. Based on your launch data, 3 parameters which are really important: the ball speed, the spin, and the launch angle. We use those plus a predicted weather condition or conditions for a particular location like Mexico City or wherever you want to go and play. You can plan 3 days in advance, any number of hours of the day. You can get personalized predictions for every club in your bag, except your putter, what the trajectories will do. In other words, how much it will vary. Now, why will it vary? How high is Mexico City? 9,000? 7,000 feet. What does that mean in terms of environment? What does it do to your ball flight?
It actually flies a lot, but you're not able to create spin. So the trajectory is going below your normal.
Can I correct something that you said?
Yes.
You can create spin, but spin's got a little effect.
Okay.
Or so we think. I'll come back to that now. So, interesting thing is it's 7,000 feet high, but effectively, does it always play at 7,000 feet? No. I remember a time after the Ryder Cup when Bubba Watson went there and played at about 4,000 feet, effectively. So the effective altitude was around about 4,000 due to what? A local weather condition that came through. So here's the thing. So when a ball flies through the air, there are a few things that happen. It's spinning and it's going at a certain speed, and the airflow goes around the ball. And interesting, like an aeroplane's wing, there's a little pressure underneath. And some people think that the pressure underneath the aeroplane's wing is what keeps it up. No, we would never be able to fly if it's that. It's the suction force on top of the wing that provides the overriding force of keeping that plane in the air. Okay, golf ball, similar aerodynamic effect. The suction on top of the golf ball basically is the dynamic force that works against gravity. Gravity pulls it down, and the lift force negates that a little bit. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, we have a spin axis of the ball spinning around the axis, and this axis can tilt like this. Now, if I hit a ball with a certain spin axis, and Bubba Watson hits a ball with the same spin axis, with the same club, most likely his ball is going to go higher and it's going to go wider. Why?
faster.
Most importantly, not because he has more spin. Most importantly, the spin only has what we call a linear effect. the speed contributes in terms of the forces on the ball to the square. In other words, x squared.
I would just say you're not a lefty.
Yeah, that's it. It'll go the other way. So, long story short, so you have to keep in mind that your own data will determine what your ball is going to do for every club at a particular location. It's different to somebody else. So you can't plan with somebody else's data for your tournament. It sounds silly, but it's true. Okay, so let's go on. So you decide on which time slots you need your plan. Okay? Maybe you tee off late in the day and you're going to go after 5 and the sun is going to go a little down. It's going to get a little cooler. And guess what? The ball's not going to travel that far for many reasons. Let me give you a few. The one is, the most important one, the air density is going to go, it's going to become, because it cools down, the air density becomes more dense, so the ball doesn't go that easily through, so the resistance becomes more of an effect at that speed that your ball is traveling. Number one, that's the biggest factor. There might be a pressure change, but normally it's a temperature change that keeps you there. The second thing is, and we will do some webinars this year on that, the ball temperature. You might not have carried the ball in your pocket. I spoke about it yesterday to my enemies. The ball temperature makes a huge difference when it comes off the face, in terms of the compression and the effective ball speed that you get for the same swing. And the club head difference, it's going to be cold on the club head. We don't even bring that in yet. So those are effective differences that you already get right there. And then something that we saw, and Duncan's going to tell us a little bit about Jody Shadow in a little while. I played golf in England once in Manchester, and it was in winter. And I was about this big with clothes. Man, and I felt like an Eskimo. I couldn't swing the club. So I think I was like 20 miles per hour down on my driver. It felt more. So depending on how cold it is, not only your clothing but also your body mechanics will be influenced. So you're not going to get the same ball speed. So these are all factors that happen in weather. So we're not there yet to plan with that. But what we can help you with, we can help you to have knowledge that you can beat your buddies. You can take buddies and you don't have to give the money to them. Alex, stop doing that. So we need ball speed, spin and launch handle. So if you don't know anything, you can guess it. If you guess your ball speed, your spin and your launch handle, you will be better off using the planning tool than not using the planning tool. Okay, if you think you know. So you put your golf course name in or the zip code, and then the planning tool will compute the plan. And then you have your plan. So let's go on and let's go and see if this works. Fingers crossed. Right. Let's see. Okay, so let's give a golf course name there. Give me a name.
Shadow Creek, Reservoir.
No.
Shadow Creek.
Shadow or shallow?
Shadow.
Shadow. I'll get back to what this is joke. Where is that? In California?
Vegas.
Oh.
My favorite place.
Gambler's Paradise.
Okay, it's got it. Alright, so we found the golf course. It's easy on the map. That's step one. Now we need to decide when are we going to play. We're going to play tomorrow, okay?
Yes.
Alright, so we're going to play, say, tomorrow. Let's see where we are. So what is the date today? 22nd. Okay, so we're going to play 23rd. Time slot. Okay, so we take off at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's giving us the information there. But well, let's also take tomorrow, and we also just going to take a time slot at say 12 p.m. and we add another time slot, and we take tomorrow, and we're going to go to 6 p.m. Okay, so there we have our time slots, and so we can now enter the data. You can do it manually if you don't have a FlightScope, or you can select the session, or you can import it from a CSV file. In other words, like an Excel file that you can create for yourself with these parameters. Ball speed, launch angle, spin for every club. Okay, so let's just do it manually for the moment. So let's say we take a 7-iron, and I'm just going to call it 7-iron here, and I'm going to put in Duncan. I'm going to put your figures in 126 miles per hour. What is it? 5,900 spin. 16 degrees. Okay. Right. You want to add another club?
Now let's do driver.
Okay, driver. And I know what it is, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, just have to spell it right, I guess. Don't tell me. I'm going to try and guess. No, it's not guess. It's a calculated risk. 175.
There we go.
2,600.
There we go.
And I think it's 9.6.
Perfect. Fine.
Okay, so, right, so I got it, and now we generate the report. Okay, so here's our report. So it means that, generally speaking, if we take the 7-iron, and we look at basically the, okay, I think did I add a wind speed?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that's a projected.
Yes, correct. Okay, so basically here we can see we can see the projected carry distances for the different time slots, and we can also see the deltas. What's the delta? It means the differences. So minus meaning we're going to go short, and plus is we're going to go long. Okay, compared to the baseline. So you can see there are quite a few differences there. So if you didn't know this, you can be in trouble because, and the worst enemy, and I'm sure that the teachers here will agree with this, that I think one of the worst enemies in any sport, especially in golf, is uncertainty, is basically doubt. True? If you doubt, even a little bit, your execution will be influenced. It's just a matter of how much. If you don't doubt, then you can execute in flow. That state of flow. So you need to get into that state of flow or focus where you can actually execute with confidence and with a belief system. And that's in life. If you don't believe, you don't have faith, you're basically half a person, correct? So we all know from putting, if you doubt, you're most likely going to mess it up. Sometimes you get over a putt, you stand there and you think, I got this, and it doesn't go in, it goes very, very close, true? And that's kind of, it's not magic, but it feels like magic. It's a question of a belief system that's in there. So doubt is your enemy. So you can actually remove doubt, and you can build confidence, because once you see this works, what's going to happen? You're going to feel, wow, man, I stand taller now. I feel like I'm only 6'1", now I'm 6'1.5". So, you feel more confident. And what about your enemies? Your friends on the golf course. They suddenly see what this person is now playing with so much confidence, then they feel like, ooh, they go shorter. Okay. So here's the thing, and I'll quickly, just to wake you up, I'll tell you a little joke. So there's this teenage girl that prayed, and she said, God, please make me beautiful. And if that's not possible, make all my friends ugly. Okay, so it's a matter of confidence relative to the group that you are participating in. And now, I'm going to ask Duncan, quickly tell the story about Jody, Sharof, and the planning tool that she tried out.
Yeah, so we started the beta testing and we wanted to get some feedback from professional players. And this week was a great example. The LPGA Tour played out of Lake Nona. It was very cold. And we provided her with the planning tool. She provided us with her data that she recorded at the driving range. Normal golf balls, obviously they play with Pro V1s. And she provided me with her ball speed, her spin, and her launch angle. So I projected the planning tool for the first morning, and she wanted to go test it out. And she provides me with feedback and says, oh, there's only a 4-yard difference with a 20-degree temperature drop. She says she's hitting the ball much shorter. And I go, okay, that's great feedback. And we actually go out to the Ritz one day and we do a session. And the first thing that we saw, she's wearing 3 jackets. So not only was the ball not going as far, but the ball speed went down. As soon as we could accomplish that, okay, the ball speeds that you sent us, if your 7-iron was at 108, for example, it was only going about 104 for the day. So she said, okay, basically have a club lace with these environmental conditions. So on top of that, she used the planning tool, which had the wind influence, and Alex can expand as well. And this is where our environmental optimizer was pretty cool. She hit a shot, we spoke with the caddy and we asked him, okay, how would we go about this specific shot? We were on a par 3, into a headwind. She looked at the planning tool. According to the planning tool, with my launch conditions, it's going to go approximately 8 yards shorter. It's something like a 6-7 mile an hour wind. She clubbed up. She felt pretty confident. She hit the shot. Hit it flag high, had about 10 feet to the hole. So the ball speeds that she was recording, she could use with the wind influence and the environmental conditions of that day at that moment. It was approximately 5 p.m., 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You could see the air density and the wind influence, and she could make a calculated decision on how this ball is going to react with her normal swing. And what that did is, the first thing she told us is, this makes me so much more confident playing where I go. And every single day she's asked me for the planning tool since that moment. And even Grant wants to start using it for all of his professionals. Alex can expand as well, but just having the ability to see and make a calculated decision on what to do as a professional golfer, a competitive golfer, or just someone that's trying to beat their buddy on a Saturday. It's all about confidence.
Yeah, so just to expand on that a little bit, so when we went to go do this session, obviously with tour players, they're always questioning the data. Like, is this really what I should be getting? But no problem. So I told Duncan, I said, we're taking an X3, we're taking a Mevo Plus, and we're taking a quad. So we brought everything along, put the quad down, X3, Mevo Plus. We got to the 3rd hole. I did show them that the quad has an internal barometric pressure sensor. We kind of got what the numbers look from there. The EO had cell data, so it was pulling in from the local weather station. And so when we got to the 3rd hole, she was hitting, I think, a 5-iron into this green. And the Mevo Plus, the numbers on the Mevo Plus were so close to the quad and to the X3 that both her and Grant were they were very surprised by just the data that the little unit was providing, because she uses the Mevo Plus when she's preparing. And so that was that. They obviously, right away they feel confident in that, because they see now that 3 things are reporting very similar to, especially ball speeds. So, and then we said, okay, we asked her caddy, we want you to go through what you guys go through on the golf course. Forget that we're here. Get to the shot and tell us how you're gonna hit this shot. So they get there. They say, okay, it's 165 actual. We got a little bit wind off the right. We should expect it to be 3 yards short. She wasn't really swinging full, so maybe they added another 2 or 3 yards to that. And we looked at the EO planning tool. She looked at it. They're like, okay, this should be a perfect 5-iron. She got up there, hit the first one. She probably flew it flag high and kind of rolled off. It was a little lower trajectory. She hits like this. It's funny because her ball, she says she hits a draw, but it's a ball that she hits at, it feels like it wants to draw, but she hits it pretty straight. She's a great ball striker. And then the second one, she's like, oh, okay, let me just hit another one. She hits another one, and it's perfect. She's probably 10 feet with a 5-iron from like 165. So it was cool to see them go through their motions of hitting a shot, looking at the planning tool and being like, man, I feel confident in picking this club. Go to the next hole, we pick up a driver. Now we got a little headwind, and when she hit the first one, I was like, man, is that right? But she carried it like, 207 actual?
Yeah.
And then the planning tool had said, the normalized had said like 220 something, 221, which is what they were expecting. he had 2 shots that were both perfect. Went on, we hit the iron into the green. First one she hit short, which is what they expected.
Yeah.
She clubbed up, they hit the next one pin high. And so again, it was just, we were there validating for her that these numbers that we're reporting are good. You know, because tour players, you gotta, I mean, you really have to sell them on this stuff really works. It's not just some BS that we came up with. So.
And another cool thing is the way that it gets displayed, you can export it through a PDF. It'll provide you with actual almost a booklet that you can put in your yardage book.
Yeah, it's yardage book size, so you can take the page and split it in half. We are going to change it a little bit, so it's all down the line, you know, kind of down the line here, and you can just fold it and put it into your yardage book.
So during the tournament, she went ahead and put each of her planning tool stamps to where she would have been on that hole. So when the time stamp changes from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., by the time 1 p.m. comes by, she's got a new set of data that she can work on. And that has
And it's legal.
wind effect,
Yeah, it's
completely legal, wind effect, temperature, density, everything you need. So again, it's an information advantage to give you a competitive edge over your field.
Yeah, I personally believe that, you know, my motto at school, well, the school's motto was knowledge is power. But I actually believe that once you have confidence, you become invincible. It's what I call the home team advantage effect. It's just everything just works for you. So anyway, I quickly want to tell you 2 things, and this is just for fun. Where did the environmental optimizer, how was it born? Why was it born? And a quick story. So Genesis, Mike, hole 14, par 3.
Riviera?
yeah.
A little bit uphill, I think.
14?
Is it? Is it 14?
The par 3 bowl. It's a bowl.
Yeah, it's a bowl.
Yeah.
The bumper?
Yes.
That's 6.
It's a 6, okay. Anyway, it gets about just after sunset, you know, it gets a little bit cool. I'm walking with Bryson. You were also there.
Yeah.
And
Tyler.
Tiger was also there.
Yeah.
And he didn't speak to us. But anyway, so Bryson hits his 7-iron, and he's about 15 yards short. And Tim Tucker, at the time, being his caddy, really got the brunt of that. And they had this discussion, oh, my ears are just burning. Anyway, he takes another shot at it, because it's a practice round. He monsters it. He gets about 4 yards closer. He's still short. Now Tim Tucker is almost dead. He's caddy. I walk with Bryce and I say, I think I know what's going on here. I don't have it absolutely defined, but I think we've got something to work on here. He said, what is that? And I said, well, I think with the sun that's going down, you know, close to the ocean, everything like that, is something happening with the air density that we don't really fully understand. He said, oh, that's interesting. And we, you know, started talking. So, and then we got to some shot. He had a 70-yard shot in, and it was kind of uphill.
Yeah.
Couldn't see the green. And he hits his normal wedge shot with like a 22-degree launch angle, and he comes another 12 yards short of the flag. And now this time, Tim Tucker's almost dead. Whatever. They say, you know, all the calculations are wrong. No, I said, no, I don't think it's wrong. I think what happened here is that your launch angle, this was pretty obvious to me, your launch angle was, your trajectory was so low that the intersect between the uphill landing area basically gives you that discrepancy. He said, can we calculate that? I said, yeah, we can. So basically, on the way back on the plane, I started writing a program, you know, using the air density and stuff like that. And then we started seeing how it's possible to calculate what the ball is going to do for you. And this is the foundation of the planning tool. And that's what I would like to give you the advantage now when you're going to play with against your friends. Take their money, because you're going to be the better you. You're going to be that second golfer in your bag. You know, the second guy always hits better for some reason than the first one. You're going to be the second golfer in your bag. So anyway, any questions?